Alright, now the quali is underway. Hello boys and girls, welcome back to FTRL and welcome to GT1 at Interlagos, week 5 of this, for me, what has been a very good and entertaining season so far. Obviously last night we were around here with the GT2 lads and I think it was a good couple of races, so let's see what the GT1 boys can offer up tonight. As you saw in the practice, Tom is looking quick as usual. But you never know, anything can happen, and hopefully we can have someone challenging him tonight. So boys and girls in the chat, could you just let me know if the sound levels are okay? I did check them earlier, but just want to double check that nothing's changed. Unsafe, you're too kind, mate. Good to see your bolts as well, mate. Derek's in the chat already as well. Let me know who else is there. And yeah, let's get this quali underway. Evening, Callum. All right, so whilst we're all looking at the qualies to go get underway, let's have a quick look at the standings. So in GT1, we currently have Mr. Alicol at the top of the standings. He is a point and a half ahead of the person who's usually at the top of the standing, which is T. Smith. And then we've got Phoeba, Ross and Aaron rounding out the top 5. It's still pretty tight up the top, so there is a lot to play for. Let's have a quick on-board lap with Lee. So, turn 1. Get this right and it sets you up for the rest of the this kind of opening sector. Nice long left-hander to bring you onto the back straight. Hard braking zone coming up here, and then hard left, and you don't want to run wide here because that AstroTurf could spit you out. Whoa, losing the back end just slightly. And if you run wide there, you will get a penalty as well. The penalty lines around here are pretty harsh, so I don't want to be getting any of those tonight. Saw a couple of 1 second penalties last night, and it really does hamper you, especially where it's up the hill onto the long main straight. So looks like I could do a pretty decent lap from Lee so far. Only that one little slide of the rear as he came out of turn 4. And other than that, it seems like it's going to be a very decent banker lap so far. Yours truly managed to get pole position last night with I think it was a 33.2. I do think the GT1 boys are going to go a fair bit quicker than that. Let's see what Lee, a little snappy that came out of there as well. A little bit too much on the old rumble strips. Let's see what Lee sets as a banker. And then we'll go and check on and see how everybody else is doing. It's going to be a 33.7 for Lee to start off with, and Ross immediately beats it by 7/10 of a second and goes, oh, SBY with a 33.26 to start off with. My word. I did think these boys would be quicker, but it's lightning pace already, and T. Smith's up there. Aaron, get in there. I mean, not like I'm rooting for the Germany boys at all, but great starter lap from Aaron there. Now, who else we got? We've got T. Smith currently in 3rd, Ross in 4th, Panda in 5th, Blue Flag in 6th, our resident Irishman in 7th, Tom Duval in 8th, Nicole in 9th, Andy in 10th, Pagani in 11th, or as we like to call it, P. Mikey. And I think we've only got one car to go across the line, which is Dusty Fossil, and he sets a 34.4, so he is currently rounding up the grid. Joker in 14th, Biggles in 13th. So plenty of time to find for these guys. Yeah, Lee, the fact that he hasn't won, he's kind of almost doing a what Russell's doing in F1, kind of not necessarily winning races, but he's just getting consistent points, and he's obviously Lee's winning the championship as it stands. So yeah, he's flying. He's doing really well. So yeah, who's coming round to finish their next flying lap? Lee will be the first one to cross the line again. Rossi's quite close to him, so he might be picking up a bit of a tow here. Could Ross be getting enough of it to improve his lap? He does improve and up to 6th. Ross stays 4th. Tom's about to come across the line. Is he going to go any quicker? He does. He goes fastest of all. Half a tenth quicker than his teammate. So the Frenchies are looking quick. I'm not going to lie, knowing what's coming next week, I'm kind of hoping they suffer a bit tonight, but there we go. Aaron's still sitting in 3rd. He's moved up to 7th. Positions moving around all over the place. I don't know how people keep, people that do this commentating like every week, and how they keep up with it. Biggles move up to 10th. This is going to be a good old test for these two. So Joker and Dusty Fossil are in for Dow and Grumpy. Sorry, not Dow and Grumpy. Grumpy and Chrome. But yeah, it's going to be a test for these boys tonight. But no doubt they can rise to the challenge. Obviously, 2 races tonight. We've got a 14 lap sprint followed by a 36 lap endurance. So plenty of chance for decent points for these guys. Where's the other Peugeot? Okay, they're currently sitting 1, 2 and 8. Impressive from the French guys so far today. And then who's going to improve? Lee does improve. He goes up to 5th. Biggles improves again up to 9th. Tom Duval improves. There's lots of improvements happening here. Tom improves his gap by another 10th. He's absolutely flying. He's already almost a second quicker than I was last night. Oh, I'm safe. Don't forget to like the stream chat. We've got 11 of you watching. I want 11 likes on that chat. And Andy improves and goes up to 10th. There's a lot of jostling for positions here. They should still get another. Most of these guys should still get at least one more lap in, possibly two. The likes of Lee, Ross, who are at the front of the qualifying train at the moment, should get a few more, a couple more laps in. Evening, Owen. How you doing, buddy? Let's have a look. Now Ross is definitely going to be getting a decent tow off of Lee here. So hopefully, for him at least, he'll. Well, actually, it's a fair distance. He might be getting a slight tow, but maybe not as much as he'd like. He's going to do. This is a quick lap from Ross. Yep, and improves by a full 2 tenths and up to 4th. I'd say that's where you come up trumps, mate. Absolute come up trumps. The dedication to FTRL is unheard of, mate. Let's have a look to where we'll be going. So Ross did just go purple in sector 1. So again, he may be getting a bit of that tow of Lee. And then, is he too close to Lee here? Is it going to be giving him dirty air and affecting him through this section? And he improves again with a 33 flat. Bieber improves with a 33.3. Not a fast time coming in here. Right, Dusty, where's that put him? Let's quickly checking on him. Yeah, let's put him in front of his teammate. But yeah, the GT1 pace is absolutely unreal. Let's go back and check in with Ross because he was on an absolute flyer. Lee gets out of his way. I think he knows that he's not on a fast lap here. Well, he's lost a bit of time, but he's still 2 tenths up on his time, which will put him into 2nd place. Well, I mean, how does that work? 2 tenths up on his time, but anyway. Let's have a look, see where he gets. Hugs the inside line. It's going to be a quick time, but it's only going to put him up to 3rd. Bumps Aaron down onto down to 4th. Currently, we've got a Germany 4-5-6 at the moment. Not bad from the Germany boys. What can Aaron do? Can he improve this lap? Not quite. Just under 2 tenths down. We've got Will crossing the line next. Does improve and goes up to 5th. Good lap from Will there. So where are we in terms of... We're about to cross the 10-minute mark, so Andy is not going to get another lap in. This will be his final time, and he's got a penalty as well. It was only a marginal improvement. It would have put him up above... actually, it would have put him up to 6th for that annoying penalty that he got there, just crossing that line that separates the track from the pits. Biggles with a big snap. So most of these guys are going to get a lap in. Ross has aborted his. Making sure he stays out of everybody's way. SVY won't be improving. He's got a 1.5 second penalty. Tom will not be improving his either. He's now on the runoff. So who is still on a flying lap here? We've got... Tom is on a flying lap. Tom Duval, that is. Yeah, it's an incredibly close grid bolt. No, I haven't seen any more messages pop up saying that they've improved, so... Oh, here we go, Lee has moved up to 6th. And Tom Duval does improve and he goes up to 12th. So I think we've only got a couple more people to cross the line. Aaron has improved and goes back up to P2. Great flying lap there from Aaron. Absolutely brilliant to see a German car on the front row of the grid. And anybody displace him. Ross, as we know, is not going to improve. I think. Oh, Pagani? No, not going to improve. He's pretty far down on his time. I think that might be it for Flyers. Yep. So there we have it. That is our grid for the sprint. So we have Tom on pole, boring as usual, with Aaron sharing the front row with him. SBY, Ross, Panda, Nicole, Biggles, and then Graham. Then we've got Andy, Blue Flag, Pagani, Tom Duval, Bieber, Joker, and Dusty rounding up the grid. So this should be a very intense sprint race. As you can tell, the grid is incredibly close. Let's hope we've got some nice, clean but close racing as well. So he is getting the race underway. I'm going to get a drink because I think I'm going to need it. All right, here we go. Rolling start as always. With Tom leading our 15 drivers down to turn 1. Now, there was a couple of moves a bit further down the grid into turn 1 last night. I think where they obviously have a little bit longer to go when the lights go green. It does allow a couple of the cars behind to just have a little sniff at making an overtake into turn 1, whereas usually the rolling starts don't allow for that. But here we go. So we've got Aaron hopefully going to be making a move on Tom, but again I'm going to try and stay impartial. Who's going to, if it is anyone going to try and make a move? All looks pretty clean so far. Everyone's spaced out a bit more than they were last night. I think does Aaron have enough of a slip to make a move into turn 1? It could be a crucial move because, as we know, once Tom does get clean air, he does like to put his foot down and get away. All looks pretty clean so far. Everyone seems to have got through okay. Oh, and not much in the way of change. Well, we have got a fever down into 15th, so something's happened there. But he's still on the back of the pack, so I think he's okay. I don't know if that was a flash of the lights there at Dusty, but who knows, maybe we'll find out in the steward's report. Graham going down the inside of Blue Flag, that is a crucial one, because we all know how good that Viper is in a straight line, and Blue Flag likes to defend. And as we come towards the end of lap 1, we've still got Tom leading by 7/10 to Aaron. But Aaron's got SPY all over the back of him. It's crucial for Aaron that he gets a good exit here. Had a little slide on the way in, and SPY is closing that gap. And as we know, the two teammates, if SPY is able to get past Aaron here, could play rear gunner for Tom and let him get away. Aaron defends the inside. We could be seeing a move here. SPY is ahead going into turn 1. Aaron defends, like I say, he's got that inside line, but it may compromise him going onto the back straight. Well, it's not really a back straight actually, is it? It's more of a mid straight. Further back, Ross in 4th, Panda in 5th, Lee in 6th, Biggles in 7th, and look how close these cars are. Andy going for a move in up Biggles. No, I mean, whatever. Good move from Andy, but he's caught the outside Astro, and it just allows Biggles to cut underneath him again and get that place back. Almost a really lovely move there from Andy. Been really impressed with Andy's pace. He's come from GT2 and he's been, mixing with a lot of these quick guys in most of the races. Who was that? Oh, he's got a penalty, and Panda has a 5-second penalty that will put him at the back of most of these cars, especially the Vipers. Because, like I said, the penalty line is annoyingly on the uphill part of the long back straight, which means getting back up to speed again, especially for any car that isn't the Viper. It does take a little bit longer than usual. He will lose a few places here. Aaron does still have that P2, so he's managed to fend off Sean for the time being at least. Lee was very wide coming out of that final bend, so maybe under threat from Biggles. Panda is going to drop down the order here a bit. But if he can somehow stay, I mean, this sort of swarm of the Vipers is a scary sight to behold. You don't want any of those getting in front of you, especially Blue Flag. But he's making a move into turn 1. Out the inside, they're 3 wide, and who's that gone off? It's that Biggles. It was Biggles. He's unfortunately lost it on the entry to turn 1. He's down to 15th, but long way to go in this race, and there's still an endurance race to follow. So, and he is up to 6th, Lee in 5th. Ross has a lot of clean air. He's got clean air in front and clean air behind, so he can focus on closing down this gap to SPY. And Aaron is still being hounded by SPY, and in the meantime, trying to catch up with Tom. He's not let Tom get away though. He's keeping him honest, making sure that he knows he's still there. And obviously, he's just got to watch his rear mirrors as well, though. Oh, a little kick of the grass there, but gathers it up nicely. Bitty Bosch Blue? No, he hasn't raced in SB. He hasn't raced in FTRL since I think like the F1 days. When we used to do F1, mate. He did I think he did a season of GT, but he I don't think he even saw one season through. So blue flag is ahead of Graham. That rocket ship of a Viper is going to be incredibly tough to pass. It's not particularly good in sectors in that middle sector. But on sectors 1 and 2, it's 1 and 3. It is an absolute rocket ship. So trying to make a move on it is near on impossible. The gap in front. The gap has increased quite a bit there. So it's gone from being being 7/10 up to 1.8 seconds. So either Tom has set a mega lap, which was a 32.4. There was a full second difference in their fastest lap times on lap 3. So Aaron feeling that pressure from SBY a bit there. So SBY has just got to keep doing what he's doing. That move might be on. Only a second and a half, only 1.5 tenths out. Yeah, less than 2 tenths between the two of them. He is closing that gap to Ross, so Ross might have to start thinking about watching his rearview mirrors shortly as well. Garney in 9th, currently being hounded by Will. He's pushing him around that hairpin. We're going to see a move into. It's such a tricky car to overtake that Viper. Bill right behind Fever for that 14th place. Yeah, it's a shame, but he's definitely got the pace. He feels confident for the endurance as well. So let's see what he can do. Like I say, the evening's not over yet, and he's got the pace to compete. Aaron has just made a slight gap to SBY, so he doesn't have to defend into turn 1 just yet. But let's see what Sean can do going onto this back straight. Aaron seems to have had a slightly better exit. That gap to Tom now is just starting to increase ever so slightly. So unless Tom does make a mistake, which is usually quite rare, this could be Tom's race to win. Further back, that gap's just gone a bit, slightly bigger again between him and Lee. Andy is all over blue flag. This is the sector where Andy should be quicker than the Viper. Yeah, defending that inside. It's one of the moves that can be made, but it's such a difficult move to make because if you do get it wrong, you are taking someone out. Andy is pushing this Viper around this track. It's so difficult to get around. It's a wide body car. Andy's got Graham for company there as well as Pagani. And Tom Duval looking to try and close the gap to make it a 4 car. I mean, if Tom Duval brings Will with him as well, he's going to be having a mighty old train. I just based on the GT2 boys cars emergency backup. Love that. That's a lovely addition. Yeah, they're going well, these two boys. Like I say, it's not easy making the jump from GT2 up to GT1 when you're trying to cover, but the pace is just absolutely ferocious. Back up front, we do have Aaron's just kind of solidified that 7/10 gap between him and Sean, just to keep him at arm's length. And he is ever so slightly closing the gap to Tom. Our tyre wear around here is only at ×1, it's not massive. I don't know whether there's absolutely no difference in the tyre wear between the two of them, so I don't know if tyre wear is really going to come into play. But Aaron is starting to reel Tom in ever so slightly. Whether Tom's just taking the edge off just slightly, just to make sure that no mistakes do happen, no penalties are picked up. is another question. So Ross has managed to increase the gap to him and Lee again. So he's comfortable in that P4 at the moment. Back, and he's still pushing still pushing blue flag around the track. Just watch that gap between him and blue flag increase, despite the fact that he's got the slipstream. That Viper is ridiculously quick, and it will just start eking away even in slipstream. It's absolutely incredible. And highly frustrating. I had the same thing with Jonesy last night. Oh, and Andy! Oh, he must have just clipped the outside grass. Easily done. We saw Owen do that last night. Sorry to bring it up again, mate. It's ever so easily done. You're focused on the cars around you. You're focused on the apex that you're trying to hit, and you just ever so slightly clip that outside grass, and it just takes you out for a spin. Add insult to injury. Got a 1 second penalty for going wide, I believe, at the end of turn 2. It's such a harsh penalty. Zach got one of those last night. Like I say, the penalty lines around here are an absolute nightmare. So at the front again, let's just double check the gap. Yeah, and Aaron still got that 9/10 gap now. The first VY behind. Tom's 1.7 ahead. Oh, 2 seconds ahead now. So it is just fluctuating ever so slightly. Certain cars are better at certain areas of the track. Aaron's going well. So Panda can make up a few places as well. It could be a good night for the Germany boys, but we know obviously Biggles has it all to do in the endurance. Well, in this one, but it should be in a good position for the endurance. So yeah, this is going to put Andy probably right at the back behind Biggles. Biggles not enjoying this combo, is he? Like you said. Where's the comment gone? Yeah, unsafe. It's really rare to see him kind of struggling, but maybe he just doesn't get on with the car and the track at this point. But yeah, it's one of those things. Whilst we're halfway through this race, let's quickly recap on the team standings. Obviously, this is before last night's races. So before last night's races, we had Italy with 5 wins and 688.5 points. Now they have used their double points week. Team Germany with 4 wins and 656.5 points have not used their double points. So as part of Team Germany, I do believe we are in a very good position at the moment. Our double points week isn't until the final week of the season. So yeah, I feel like we're in a good position. We've had a couple of really, really strong weeks. And then underneath those, we have France. We're on with 4 wins and 611 points. And again, well, they haven't used their double week point. Their monstrosity of a double week point is next week at the El Sachi test circuit. That is going to be a interesting race, to say the least. Japan with the solitary win and 559 points have used their double points week. That week for them didn't go as well as they would have hoped. They'll be hoping to pick up some extra points, where they maybe wouldn't expect it throughout the rest of the season. And then Team USA with 2 wins and 482.5 points again have not used their double week points. And FIBA is off. He's really not enjoying this week, is he? All he's got to do is just crack on and see what he can do in the endurance. So I'm trying not to jinx it, mate, but we are in a good position now. There's an interesting battle here for 12th and 13th and 14th. 3 wide for a moment there, and they're all very tightly packed. Now, I will go and check on the leaders in just a second, but I want to see what happens here going into turn 4. Andy on the inside. Nice move. Keeps it within the lines, and Biggles may end up following him through here. Through goes Biggles. Up into 13th position. And Dusty was just having a little sniff there, potentially having a little dart up the inside, but let's have a look at the front 3 again. Tom's eked away again. His lap times have been up so consistent. Each one of them, apart from lap 1 and lap 2, have been within 2 or 3 tenths of each other. Aaron's still got that 8 to 9 tenth gap. He's had a decent exit there, but so he's increased it to a second, which is crucial because that gets him out of the slipstream of SVY. Ross still kind of in a no man's land. He does have to be aware that Lee is behind him, but Ross is usually a fairly consistent driver, so I don't think he'll have any issues with that. I think that could be P4 sewn up in there. Lee and Blue Flag in P5 and P6. Graham looking just down the inside of Blue Flag, but probably not quite close enough. Barney's looking at getting involved in this fight, along with Panda as well. So we've got 5 laps including this one to go. Who do we think is going to get... Well, to be fair, I mean, I think the front three are probably locked on for the podium positions. But if the race was to end like this, guys, who do we think is the favourite for the endurance? I know my teammate Biggles is feeling quite confident about it, so hopefully he does have a good race. But it's difficult to look past the likes of Tom, isn't it? I mean, he has the pace. It's just whether the car has the tyres and the fuel. Yeah, Graham's raced well in this one. He's kept it consistent. He's had one or two laps in the high 33s and one in the 34s, but other than that, he's been pretty consistent in this race so far. Yeah, Derek, that was the thing with me. I had one really silly little spin coming onto the kind of twisty section. I feel like I would have only lost maybe 3 or 4 seconds, and yet somehow I ended up, finishing a good 20 or 30 seconds behind the leaders, and I only got P9, I think it was, in the end. And don't get me wrong, I was actually quite pleased with that. But it was, I was a bit confused as to how I ended up being. And I felt my lap times were actually quite good, but like you said, it's difficult to come from the back. I feel like that spin probably put me in a bit more traffic than I needed to be in. But if you can get a clean run, then you can make up a lot of places. So yeah, Ross is. Yeah, I think he's just driving an autopilot now. Pretty much, he's just kind of driving through this and getting to the final stages of this race, and a P4 for Ross would be a good result. And it's just now getting, definitely getting clear of that Peugeot behind him. There's not too many, or just as I was about to say, there's not too many battles going on. We have one between Panda and Pagani now. Panda's just made a nice move, or what looked to be a nice move, around the hairpin in sector 2. However, he's now got to try and somehow gap Pagani in this very short space of time before we're going on to this long main straight, because as you'll see, that Viper is going to close the gap pretty significantly, and he'll probably be able to make a move into turn 1. Yeah, he's closing in. He's going to have to defend the inside here, and then he's going to have it all to do again going into down the long back straight. There he goes. Oh, where's Pagani? Oh, it's close racing, a little bit of door banging, but that could be crucial. Now then, can Will keep that position? It looks like he will. Well done. That was a really, really important move from Panda there. Because that Viper, as quick as it is in a straight line, it won't be the quickest through sector 2, and that's where the Audi is quite strong. So all Will needs to do is try and keep it clean, and if he can get a slight gap, I feel like maybe 6 or 7 temps going onto that back straight could be enough to keep Pagani at arm's length, and for away from him, keep him away from making a move into turn 1. Pagani, you can see, just fighting that car, trying to keep within a certain space of Will. Will's done a good job here. He's up to 6 temps. 7 temps. Oh, Pagani, he's on the outside. He's going to have dirty tyres. This might just work for Will here. Yeah, Will's going to be able to move away with those dirty tyres. This is a 1.5 second penalty. That is incredibly harsh on Pagani. You lose time by going onto those rumble strips and onto the AstroTurf and then onto the grass. The game's penalty system needs adjusting big time. That is incredibly harsh on Pagani, but it has let Will get away. Now, Will, Graham is the next in line to be as his target. Can he close in the gap? Now, out front, Tom is still eking away at the gap. Aaron's got a nice gap to SPY. I feel like these 4 in front now, even 5 actually, are pretty just coasting around there, trying to making sure they get to the end of the race without error, without any kind of catastrophes. Oh, excuse me. Right, Panda is closing the gap to Graham here. We've got a lap and a half to get P7 here. If he can get into P7, that will really set him up well for the endurance. I mean, he'll be mid grid. He would have had a half decent result in the sprint. But Graham is a good driver. He's a clean driver. He won't be easy. He shouldn't be too easy to pass. As we go on to the final lap, yeah, 32 flat is ridiculous, and he's gone even quicker. You know what? That's all the airtime you're getting. Yeah, unbelievable. So Aaron in P2, Sean in P3, Ross in P4, and Lee in P5. I feel like those 5 are locked on for their positions. The rest of the grid seems to be a bit up for grabs. So if Graham can close the gap, close the gap on the blue flag and make him make a mistake, or have a little go at him through the middle sector, it may allow Will back into the fight for maybe P7 and P6. But other than that, it all seems pretty... Oh, there's a fight going on here for the top 10 positions here. Garney in P9, followed by Tom Duval, his teammate, and Andy and Joker. Joker's driven really well in this race to be in for a shout of the top 10. Biggles is there as well. Dusty Fossil and Fever haven't had quite as entertaining races for them. Yeah, it's a tough division. Now these 3 are absolutely going hammer and tongs. Tom is coming onto the final straight, so we'll watch him cross the line, and then we'll get back to that little fight there. But these 5 positions have been locked on for a little while. Tom is going to cross the line to win the GT1 sprint. Brilliant drive from him as always. Led from the front all the way from the start to the end. P2 for Aaron, Sean with a P3, Ross with a P4, Lee with P5. Blue flag is going to hold off Graham for a P6. Graham with the P7, Will with the P8, good drive from him. And then Pagani with P9, Tom Duval, Andy, Joker, and then Biggles will be 11th, 12th, and 13th respectively. And then Dusty Fossil and Fever are going to round up the rest of the grid. So yeah, Aaron, mate, he's ridiculously quick. 32 flat, unbelievable. Good drive from you, mate. Really solid drive. And so that will be, so as always, we do have the reverse grid for the endurance, and that will be Dusty Fossil starting from the front. All right, so quick recap. So Tom, Aaron, Sean are our podium sitters. Ross, Lee Cole, Blue Flag, Graham, Panda, Pagani and Tom Duval round up the top 10, with Andy, Joker, Biggles, Dusty and Fever rounding up the rest of the grid. So, well, actually, sorry, it will not be Dusty Fossil leading us off. It will be Fever. So let's see what he can do in some clean air. Yeah, so very interesting race in terms of some of the fights that we had going on in the kind of the latter parts of the grid, especially those between the Audi and the Vipers, because those they're so different in terms of where they're good and bad in different sectors. So now like I say, we move on to the 36th lap endurance. I will be back in just a moment. I'm going to grab myself another drink, and I will we'll have a rundown of where everybody's starting and what tyres they're on. All right. So, guys, get your predictions in for the podium sitters for the endurance race. Who do we think will be on that top step? Who do we think will be on the podium for this race? I'll say this guy. He feels he does. He's been saying that he feels quite confident. So let's see how he gets on. Obviously, he was very unlucky in that first race to lose it at turn 1. But as we've seen before, just because you've had one bad race doesn't mean you have to. It'll be good for him to get back on the horse and have a good one. Yep, Graham is usually very good in the endurances as well. Let's just have a quick run through and just see if we can gather who's going to be starting on what. So currently we have Biggles on the hard tyres, Ross on the hards, Sean, Panda, Tom, and Graham all on the hards. And then currently we have Aaron currently on the hard, Lee and Joker on the mediums. Obviously this can change before the race starts. Tom Duval, Blue Flag, Pagani all on the hard, and we've got Dusty Fossil, Andy, Bieber, Joker and Lee on the mediums. So there was a massive different range of strategies going on last night. It seemed like certain cars, prefer doing kind of like shorter stints on the mediums and slightly longer ones on the hards. So it's I think this could be an interesting race, this one. I will try and keep track of things like pit stops and who's on what tyre. Excuse me, who's on what tyres and whatnot. But I am not quite as accomplished at the whole commentary thing as the likes of Zach and Lee. So Lee especially, he is our goat when it comes to commentary. 100%. Yeah, Nobby, your endurance race last night was great. Fun fact, that was race 9 of the season, and that's the first time we've not had a different winner. That's actually really impressive. That shows that actually the teams we've got, cars that people have been given, have actually created a very competitive division. That's it's great to hear. So yes, Aaron, you are fucking hilarious on comms. I'll give you that. But in terms of like keeping track of everything, I just think Lee is just unbelievably good at it. And Zach is very good at it as well. Yeah, it's I just struggle keeping track of everything and everyone. So Lee has given the 1 minute warning. We will be going racing in that time. I'm going to go for the Biggles win. I feel like he could surprise everybody with the strategy he's potentially going for. I'm going to go for a Ross podium. Not too sure that's a second or third. And I'm going to go for I'm going to round it off with a Pagani third. I've got a feeling he'll keep it clean. He'll put the lap times in, and I think I've got a feeling he'll have a good race here. I feel like Aaron will get a solid pit top 6. Yeah, Aaron, you're on comms next Thursday for the atrocity that will be our Saatchi test course. That's going to be fucking awesome. So here we go. Quick rundown of the tyres. Bebus starts on pole on the mediums. Dusty's on the mediums. Biggles on the hards. Joker is on the mediums. Andy's on the mediums. Tom is on the hards. Pagani, Panda, Graham, Blue Flag, Lee, Ross, SBY, Aaron, Tom, all on the hards. So here we go. Fever leads us down to turn 1. Will Dusty be able to make a move into turn 1, or will he save it for potentially down at the end of turn 4? Don't forget, this is a much longer race than the sprint, so the need to overtake is not as important, especially on the early stages. So it all looks quite clean so far. Nobody going really for any silly moves. Now Aaron's already made up a few positions. We have lost to Tom DeVal towards the back of the pack. I don't know whether there was contact or anything, or Tom getting a little bit out of shape there coming out of turn 4. And Aaron is being hounded again by SBY. So Aaron's had a brilliant start to this race, going up from P14 already up to P Mikey. And he's once again got SBY in his rear view mirrors. And there he is, look. You see that blue car, and he'd be probably sick of seeing it, and just like SBY is probably sick of seeing this sight. There must have been a little kerfuffle maybe going down into those opening couple of corners that just allowed Aaron to eke his way through. And Fever sees us round off the first lap, continuing where he started. So a good start from Fever and Dusty. They've just made a little bit of a gap to Andy, but not massive. Andy is up to 3rd. So who's he taken over? Trying to work out who. This is what I mean. I'm no good at kind of remembering who started where and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, there we got Pagani up to 5th. He gets past Biggles, and now Biggles has his teammate for company behind him. Aaron's still in 11th. Lee in 10th. Aaron's going around the outside of Lee. Oh, good move from Aaron, but Lee will have the inside, and they are very, very close proximity to one another. Can Lee hold it down around the inside? He will if he can. Oh, look at this. Nice space was given. Brilliant racing from the two of them. Aaron, is he gonna... Oh, good, well held. He's still got the position, but they're still side by side. Brilliant racing from the two of them. I think Aaron's just going to win this battle. Good racing, really good racing. Now Aaron can set off in hope of getting past Blue Flag, but that's a whole nother ball game, that is. So Fever and Dusty coming round towards the end of Sector 2 on lap 2. Medium runners do need to try and make their medium stints work for them. Yanni is only a couple of seconds behind Joker on the hard tyres, so there is if he can, this is what I'm saying for Pagani, if he can try and make those hard tyres work for him, the race will come back to him later on in the race when these four especially are on the medium tyre. Now Andy's just made a brilliant move up into turn 1 on Dusty Fossils, so that's him up into P2. Yeah, Aaron is really not hanging around up to P10, and he's already closed the gap to Blue Flag. And he's closing the gap again. Now I wonder if Biggles... Like I say, I think Biggles will be on a slightly different strategy to most people tonight. But if he can hold up the likes of Blue Flag, it may help Aaron just make that move a little bit easier. Oh, a couple of them there looked a little bit wide. Biggles has picked up a half-second penalty, and Aaron is through. He's up to P8 already. Absolutely flying. Tom hasn't been able to quite make the same inroads. Only up to P13 behind his wife. Friend, Ross. Biggles has a half-second penalty, so we'll stick him behind. We'll put him behind a couple of these cars. Blue Flag again was one of those cars that went wide with him, so. He's flying here. And I'll say there's going to be a range of different strategies that everybody goes with here, and that gap between Joker and Pagani, bear in mind Joker's on the mediums, Pagani's on the hards, He's staying around that 2 seconds. Yeah, confidence is high with Aaron at the moment. I think he's been driving really well red all season. I think he's disappointed that he hasn't had a couple of better results in a couple of the races, but on the whole, I think he's having an absolutely brilliant season. And on those hard tyres, he's just set a 33.4, so it's impressive pace from him. If he can get past Graham here, it will put him behind his teammate, and that'll be up into P7 if he can do that. It's not within striking range as it stands, so let's have a quick look and see how these guys are going. Obviously, one thing we do need to pay attention to is tyre wear and fuel in this one. So, unsafe, you're supposed to be on his team. Shush. Medium tyres. Bieber's got the better out of these guys. Only marginally. Obviously, they're only a few laps old, so there's not going to be too much of a change between them. I'm currently seeing that Audi off at the moment. Lee's 1.5 behind Aaron. Tom is now up to 10th, so there's been a few position changes. Now put it back here. Blue flag into P13. The awkward thing that I find is that I can't really guess how these guys' races are going, because I don't know what their strategies are. Are they one-stopping? Are they two-stopping? Are they saving fuel? Are they not saving fuel? I really struggle to work it all out. So I might need your help here, chap. So Sean definitely had an off, but potentially on both sets of laps. The evening's on. How you doing, my friend? We've got a yellow flag. Who is that? Who was the yellow flag for? Oh, potentially. No idea, but that was definitely a yellow flag. I'm just not too sure who it was for. Tom is up into the top 10. Aaron is now past Graham. Unfortunately, we missed that move. Graham is still fighting it around this double right-hander. Oh, good move. He's done it again. Similar place to where he got you finalised the move on Lee, and he's up to P6. Absolutely brilliant move. Oh yeah, Joker. He's had enough somewhere, and he's down into P8. But he's still in the mix. It's a long race, this one. So now, Aaron is on the charge, looking to catch up with his teammate Panda, who is currently fighting with Pagani. And that gap is still only 3.8 seconds as they come towards the end of lap 5. So there's a good chance here for Pagani. Is what I was saying. When he strings it together, he's got the possibility of a very, very good result here, Pagani. And if Panda can stick with him, which he is at the moment, then he could be on the cards for a very good result as well. And Aaron's closing that gap at a rate of knots. So, and then T. Smith closing in on Joker and Graham here. Not going to be close enough, I don't think, for a move into turn 4. But I don't think it's all that important with 30 laps of this race to go. Look at that gap. It's come down by I think that's pretty much by a second in less than a full lap. So he is absolutely flying at the moment. SBY has set the fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres. He's set 32.7. He's got the pace. He's just obviously had some contact with someone or made enough somewhere. Bieber has a 3-second gap for Andy behind him. Andy is also on the medium tyres, so that Bieber lead is a relevant one. That is a net lead at the moment. Wesley Foster keeping Andy honest. 4.6 now, the gap between the front three medium runners and the first hard runner. Now Aaron is right with his teammate. Now if they can almost kind of gang up on Pagani here, they could, at least one of them, make a move into the top five. Sorry, the top four. Well, I might need to find a jumper in a minute. I'm getting a little bit chilly. Joker going for a move on Graham. No. Graham just shows him that the gap's closing enough to make Joker think twice about the move. And that's brought Tom right onto the bumper of Joker. You can see both Graham here and Tom behind. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if, like, not necessarily a team orders type thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if they mention it to each other. They'll be in a party together. Aaron's clearly got the pace. He's also very used to racing Pagani, so the two of them, if Aaron can make it stick, Aaron moves up into the top four, and then maybe Will could follow through. But I don't know if they're going to do that, but we'll see. Let's have a quick look. Aaron is closing in on Will. Will they do the swap? Doesn't look like they're going to do it on down the main straight. Will is incredibly close to Pagani here now. Yeah, look at the gap at this. Now Pagani is obviously in the Viper, which makes it incredibly difficult to pass him when there's a long straight involved. Yeah, Will just doesn't quite have the confidence to go up the inside. But look at the closing speed out of the turn. Will is going to be on the inside here, I think. The outside for the turn 5. Well, there he is, right behind him. A pair of angry Audis behind him. And then Aaron looks up the inside of Will. Will sticks with the P5 for now. It's clear that Aaron feels like he has the pace. I feel like Panda's also got the pace to get past Pagani, but getting past Pagani when he's in that Viper is another question. It's such a difficult car to overtake. And then Will can get a good exit here, which he has. Oh, big snap there for Pagani. You'll still see this. I'm pretty sure this Viper will still pull away, even though Panda is right up close. Panda is coming into the pits. So is Aaron. Going for the undercut, or is this their planned strategy? It's part of their team. I should probably know that. Oh. So I'm pretty sure a lot of these cars are actually in. So Lee and Smith are also in, and they're the only 4 cars so far that have felt like to pit. So yeah, 8, 14 and 14. So I wonder if that's going to be enough to undercut Pagani. These guys are probably going to be out for at least another 3 or 4, possibly 5 laps, depending on what strategy they're thinking of doing. Beaver still has a lot of fuel. I mean, that fuel looks to me like it could probably go until lap 16, which would be, what would that be? That would be 16, 32, 4 laps on the hard tyres. It just depends on how bad those mediums would be. Is it just the area of the race now where not many fights are happening? Biggles is going to lose a couple of positions here because he's got a 1 second penalty, and he's got Tom Duval and Blue Flag right behind him. He will lose positions to at least those two. Sean is a fair distance back, so he won't lose positions to him, but he is going to lose positions to the 2 Vipers, which, as I've said before, is not ideal. Yeah, Biggles is almost certainly one stop in this. He has been mentioning it in our chat. He's still got a lot of fuel. He's got just over half a tank of fuel. He could be one to look out for. The tyres on the Lambo are looking better than they are on the Persia. And about the same, Persia and the GTR are looking around the same. So as we come towards the end of this lap, let's have a look at where Arnie is. Still hasn't pit. I wonder how many laps he's doing on the hard tyre then. I don't know, reckon out of fuel. Garni cannot Beaver for Biggles 26.2 at the moment, 26.3. So, but yeah, Pagani, I don't think he can do with that fuel. He can't do a one stop, so he's not doing that. Joker's still going well here. He's had, he's obviously had an off somewhere. He's had a couple of scruffy 141s, but I feel like he's still in the fight with a decent position here. For a decent final position. Oh dear. Excuse me, guys. Oh, has Fever had an off? He has. He's lost wheel with Fever's come off. He's 142 last lap. He's let Andy into the lead. So that was an interesting one. Dusty Fossil now up to P2 with Fever now a second behind him. Yeah, sorry I missed that. Obviously Fever won't be sorry I missed it, but God, he's getting a little bit sideways coming out of turn 4. Yeah, he was going well, Fever. He's just got to try and not do what I usually do, which is let it get to him and capitulate and make more mistakes. I feel like I've been better at that this season though, so I'm just good. So any close battles on track. Aaron's still behind Will. Lee following him with Graham a second and a half behind. Ross has pit as well. To me, in my fairness, unsafe. I haven't been around for 29 seasons. I think I've been around for about 15, so, which even so is, yeah, it's bad. Have a look. So Andy has increased that gap to 4.4 seconds. We can't all be as good as you, unsafe. Beaver sticking within a second after his spin on the last lap, or the lap actually previous to that. When will the next range of pit stops be? Is anyone running? No one's running low on fuel just yet. I feel like even the worst fuel usage is probably going to be at least 13, 14 laps, so probably another two laps. You'll get it back unsafe, mate. You'll get it back. No doubt about that, bud. You've got the pace this season, mate, 100%. So, I'll try sticking with you in that sprint last night. So difficult. Okay, so everyone's just kind of stabilised positions here a bit. This is the part where Pagani, every time I click on, I go over to Pagani, he just has this massive snap. There we go, another one. It's almost like he's really wrestling that car to get it around, especially this second sector. Joker going, we're still going well. Still going well, Joker. He needs to just keep his head down, keep going. Biggles, that gap is still only 24 seconds, so I don't know how long a pit stop is here, but I feel like he's in good. He's doing all right in terms of what he's trying to do. So yeah, I think Pagani's been watching Cars and Lightning McQueen a bit too much. Tom, how's he getting on? Is he? No, he's pit, hasn't he? Yeah, he's pit. So he's not doing a one stop. He's got Panda and Aaron for company behind him. Cole has got Graham for company. And everybody else is kind of a bit more spaced out. Obviously, Dusty's got Fever right behind him, but not any major battles going on there. I'm just sort of looking at who's going to be potentially dipping into the pits next. Now, while we've got a bit of a lull in the action, I'll remind everybody that thanks to France, next week we have the Alsace test course, which, if you guys haven't seen it, it's going to be an absolute shit show. It's a 45-second lap with a very dodgy pit entry and a very dodgy pit exit, and one hell of a second sector. And I don't think any car particularly is going to go well around there. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. Blue flags are going to be absolutely everywhere, and not just this one, but like, yeah, it's going to be absolute nuts. We need to make sure that the race flags are turned off, because people are going to be getting blue flags absolutely everywhere. You're going to have whoever's doing comms. Obviously, Aaron will be doing GT2 comms. Whoever's doing GT1 comms is going to need to have their wits about them, because trying to work out where everybody is before pit stops. Speaking of pit stops, Andy is in for his. So he comes off the mediums after 14 laps. So will he probably go on to mediums again, or will he try and get his hard stint out of the way? It's a very good opening stint there from Andy, though. Pretty consistent. Worst lap I can see there is 34.8, but he's that was a solid opening stint. Too many corners for the Viper, yeah. I actually think the Viper's I think it could really struggle. There's not really a long straight either, which is obviously its bonus, or it's superpower. I feel like the Audis and the Lamborghinis could go well around there again, but it's going to be an absolute free-for-all, because there's going to be accidents, there's going to be mistakes. Andy comes out of his first pit stop into P13. Has he got anybody behind him? No, so he's got clean air in front of him, clean air behind him, and he can absolutely send it now. So out on fresh mediums. There we go. Is Ross? What is Ross trying here? Is he trying on one stop? Can't be, surely. No. Bieber is in for his, so he's done 14 laps as well. Wait. Did Andy do? Andy done 13 laps on his, so that's going to be 13, and then an 8, I think, for Andy. So Fever, Pagani, and Blue Flag are all in. Tom DeVal moves up into the top 2 because of it. It's unsafe. This is what I mean. I'm all for doing this. I'm happy to do it. I don't mind doing comms, but I'm just not very good at kind of keeping track. So that's where I need you guys to come in. Biggles is now up to 3rd. Obviously, he has not pitted. He won't pit for probably another few laps yet. I feel like he's in all those penalties he's been getting, though. Biggles, if you can hear me, stop getting penalties. That's usually what I do. Palms up to P4. Panda and Aaron look like they have jumped Garni quite a lot as well. Garni is still, he's just coming out now, so he's going to be a fair 8 to 10 seconds behind, maybe even more than that. Aaron and Will. Now, there will be a tyre difference later on in the stint, because obviously Garni's going to have fresher tyres when these guys would have already been on them for a good number of laps, so let's see where that goes. Duval going well as well, been keeping it fairly consistent. A couple of 30s, well, 136 and a number of 35s in there, but fairly good pace from Tom. He will be in this lap because he is on the red line. Dusty is also in, 15 laps on the medium tyres. Brilliant stint from him again. So let's see where he comes in. Gonna have another swig of my drink. Has not come in for his pit, and he was on the red line before the end of that final bend. Is he going to make it round this track, round this lap, with that fuel he's got? You look at the tyre difference between the Viper and the Audi of Biggles. Biggles can definitely do another couple of laps at least. Very curious as to whether he can actually get this around this track without running out of fuel. We shall see. Tom is currently sitting in P3, Brandon and Aaron sitting in P3 and 4. Aaron will get a penalty for that. Good save from Aaron. That was very sideways, but he will get a penalty there, surely. Yep. And then Nicole is in P6, Graham in P7, Dusty, Autism, Andy, Ross, Beaver, Pagani, Joker, Blue Flag, and SBY. That is currently how it stands, but we've still got over half of this race to go. But Tom Duval surely is going to be in this lap. He's running on fumes. Let's listen out for the engine. Is it going to cut out? That's incredibly close from Tom Duval. Biggles does inherit the race lead. Tom now will take P2 as he crosses the pit line. He will go into P2 and will go into the top 3 with Aaron Froy and Kosi behind. Yeah, I think it did just as he crossed the line as well. Well, it was incredibly close. He was probably sweating for a bit there, but Ross into the top 10. Via top 11. Pagani just behind him. And it looks like Pagani may have enough here to make a lunge into. Might not even, to be fair, the rocket speed of that rocket ship might even be a lunge. He might have passed him by the time it gets to the apex. Just have a quick look. He is closing in on him, but I think he might be saving fuel because he did short shift early there and he's coasted to the corner. But he might be saving a bit of fuel. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to say whether SBY here is actually out of the race or whether he's in it, because he's had a couple of really scruffy laps. That 209, that must have been pit, surely, but his fuel suggests to me that he's either very much underfueled and he's trying something completely different, or like it was a very, very bad lap. Which being SBY, I can't imagine it. It must have been a pit. Usually we get some kind of indication on the timing things on the right side of the screen to say whether someone's pit or not. I feel like he did start on hard bolts. Yeah, he started quite far towards the back, and a lot of those guys, all of those guys at the back were on hard. So I think he did start on hard. Aaron's just lost a bit of time here to Will. Well, that penalty probably added to that quite badly. Lee and Graham going at it. Oh, that looked very close from this angle. Graham a bit of a snap coming out of 4, but is he going to try and make a move into 5? Probably not. He's a little bit too far back. See that Lamborghini just coming ever so closer to the rear bumper of Lee's GTR. So close to him. There he is. Great looking car, that. The livery obviously helps. Graham is all over the back of Lee here, putting a lot of pressure on him. So far Lee is not cracking. Now then, what kind of charge can Graham mount on Lee here? Yeah, it's a good shot, Derek. Graham looks like he could make a move here, whether it's going to be down. I think it looks like it's going to be down the outside, which will... They're going to try and cut under him, get a better run onto onto turn 3 and then down the back straight. He has got a good run. This could be a move for P4 for Graham. Darts to the outside. Good racing from the two of them. Oh, and he's been pushed out wide. It's going to be a penalty for Graham. I'm not sure there whether there was enough room given, but we'll let the stewards decide that. It seems very harsh on Graham. There wasn't really much he could do there, but the penalty will have to go. He'll have to go through the penalty line, and he will put him back towards Busty's clutches. But yeah, that's one for the stewards, I think. But we'll see. Tom currently has the lead of this race, only by 8 attempts to Will behind him. Will's still going really well. His lap times are very, very quick. Very quick. Only a couple of attempts slower than that the Peugeot with SBY. So Will could be in a shout. Could be in a good shout of a very, very good result here. And Graham has served that penalty. I wonder whether Lee lifted off there because. Yeah, I think Lee's maybe been told. Oh no, Lee's been trying to let Graham through. He slipped the outside graph, and he is now down to 7th, where he was trying to let Graham pass, but I think he knew that he ushered him a bit too far wide. He's then clipped the grass, and he's now down to P7. Oh, unlucky from Lee there. But doing the right thing, I think, from my opinion. And Andy going on for a move on Dusty Fossil. A bit of wheel banging, but good move from Andy. Really good move. Nice space there left by Darcy Fossil, and Andy is up to 5th. Darcy Fossil down to 6th. Graham up to P4 now. He could be in a very good result. Good result here if he can keep it together. Tom, probably within the next 10 laps, we'll start getting a bit more of an idea on who is where in this race. Once they all start doing their final pit stops, obviously we know that Biggles is doing a 1-stop. By now, I think that's evident. He's quite far off the back, but again, with only doing 1 stop, it will come back to him at some point. It's just how much time do you lose doing that extra pit stop compared to having to do slower times and saving fuel? We'll see what happens. There's a three-way fight going on here between Tom Duval, Joker and SBY. Tom Duval, SBY up the inside. And Tom Duval, I don't think it really matters that he let SBY through there, because he's going to get the speed of that Viper. And he's going to let it do all the work for him. Probably through up to turn 1. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, 3 into 1, do they go? It works for Tom. He's up to P12. Joker into P13, SBY into P14. SBY just went a little bit deep there. Just compromised his line, but he's still there in the fight, so we'll have to see when he pits next. Not quite close enough to make a move into 4 on Joker. Yeah, thankfully Lee didn't lose too much time keeping that grass. Managed to gather it up quite quickly. If that had been me, I would have spun around it 3 times and lost about 20 seconds. But yeah, these guys are much better than I am. Smith still holds the lead. He'll probably be pitting in the next couple of laps because he's getting close to being on the red line, and his tyres are looking very, very worn. Will could be in this lap or next. When did he pit? Those tyres are very worn. Him and Aaron could potentially be in at the end of this lap. Yeah, it was lap 8, wasn't it, Bolt? Yeah, they were on the hards, that's why. Yep, thank you. Ross in P8. Pagani closing in on Ross at the moment. But I think Ross will probably end up getting away just... Well, I was going to say that, but look at those tyres from Ross. Ross would definitely be in this lap, especially because of the fuel. Bieber in P10. Obviously he had that spin that we missed in his first stint, so he's good to see that his lap times are steady just a tad. Came in on lap 14, so yeah, he's going well again, which is good. Blue Flag in P11, Tom Pavar in P12, Joker SB White in P13. No, Pagani is definitely not out of this. He is, like I said, he is very much in the fight with this, because when he gets into this kind of frame of mind and he's focused and he's on it, especially when it comes to endurance, he's almost unstoppable. But as predicted, we've got Tom, Panda and Aaron all in pits for their second stops. So this should be their final stop, and back onto the medium tyres for all of them. Nicole and Ross are also in. Ross with 1% of fuel left. Everyone keeps telling me that it's litres. I don't think it is litres, because it goes up to 100 regardless of what car you're in. I think it's percent. But anyway, it's neither here or there. Graham has now inherited the lead. Andy is only 1.7 behind. And I still think Andy could be in a very good shout of a podium here. Like I say, we'll start to see these positions, take shape over the next few laps. Yeah, Biggles is currently up to P11. Obviously, he has made his one and only pit stop off this race. He's now on the medium tyres as well, so this is going to be the stint which is going to test him quite a bit, because he's got to save a lot of fuel, and he's also got to try and save those tyres, because from my racing last night, and obviously I was not fuel saving, but after 13-14 laps, those mediums didn't feel nice, and he's got to try and do 18. Yeah, unsafe, but if it was litres, every car would be different. Because they've all got different fuel tanks. But I personally think it's percentage. That's my take on it anyway. Yeah, but did T. Smith under fuel? Where is he? There you are, P11. So he's only slightly under fuel, but that should be. I feel like that should be enough to get him through to the end of the race without having to massively fuel save. He's only 3.2 behind Biggles as well, so yeah, he may be leading, but by the time all the stops are done, it's just whether that difference in lap time. I mean, his lap times aren't all that different to those around him, or those doing a two-stop. Sorry, it's just is it enough for the likes of Tom and Pagani and everybody else that's doing a two-stop to catch him up, just being able to fully send it. So it's an interesting one. We'll see what happens. We've got 12 laps of this race to go. Andy is still leading by 6 seconds over Pagani. Pagani will be hitting probably in the next 2 laps or so. And then probably rounding off his stint with another medium stint. Bieber still going well as well. Dusty Fossil. I kind of want all these pit stops to happen now, because I know where everybody's at. Andy is absolutely flying at the moment. He's driving really, really well. And as much as I want the French team to step on Lego during this week, because of next week's track, I can't help but say he's driving well. Dusty coming in off of the hard tyre. So I think he's only done a matter of 8 laps. Did he do 8 laps? Something like that, yeah. Yeah, it's a percentage on the HUD on the left hand side, yeah. You see the laps, but then you see the percentage where that's going up now. That's 10% of fuel, for example. Because otherwise every car would have different fuel capacities. That's the way I read it as well. I could be wrong, and the chances are I probably am. But Yeah, I always saw it as a percentage, so... who's got the penalty there? Tom Duval has the half a second penalty. SBY currently sitting in 5th, blue flag in 4th, but will probably be in the pits at the end of this or the next lap. Probably this lap we're looking at. Pagani, probably not this lap, maybe the lap after. Andy will probably be in around lap 26, 27, I'm assuming, to round it off with a 10 lap stint. And Ross currently coming down the back straight. Is he going to be able to make the move on Dusty? No, he's just a little bit too far back. Dusty's only just come out the pits on fresh mediums. Almost at full. Yeah, it's over 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Pagani is in the pits. So is his teammate Blue Flag. And so is SBY. Tom Duval carries on. Tom Duval, yeah, he's probably just about got enough, not judging from what he did earlier on in the race, he's probably just about got enough to get around this lap as well, so... Yeah, Bieber will probably be in a couple of laps' time. He's got enough in the tank to get around. And the same with him as well, I suppose. I think he'll probably try and do 8 laps on the halves. And then Biggles, still only 37 laps behind, seconds behind the leaders, but he's now got Tom for company right behind him, and Tom has made all his pit stops. But this could be for the net lead of the race. Biggles can't really afford to fight it too hard. One, because of tyre wear, but more importantly because of fuel. If he does end up using too much of it, he'll be stranded and cost himself way too much time compared to everybody else around him. Onto the mediums, and he's now done his final lap, final pit of the race. And he is in. He will be coming onto the hard tyre for the last 10 laps of this race. Bieber inherits the lead. He's probably going to do, like we said, like you guys said in the chat, probably going to do 1 or 2 more laps and end on an 8 lap stint for the hard tyres. And despite that issue, he could still be on for a very good result here, Bieber. 9/10 gap to Biggles and then Aaron sitting in 5th, 6th and 7th respectively. But Tom, Duval and Andy are still sitting in the pits, so they will jump positions. Ross closing in on Dusty Fossil here. Is he going to be close enough to make a move into turn 1? Closing slowly, but not quite closing in enough. Will he go for it? I think he'll probably end up sitting behind. Yeah, he will sit behind and maybe go for it into turn 4 instead. Oh, Ross, just caught that inside grass and it looked like it was going to spit him out, but well saved. He's had a good run out of turn 3. And that gap to Dusty is closing, but again, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Dusty's got the slips from the rocket ship in front of him. So, yeah, good run out of 4 as Ross, but is he going to send it up into this double right-hander? Can be a good move, but it can also be a very risky one. Sits behind, and Dusty lives to fight on for now. Ross goes with a slightly wider line. I think that's going to be until potentially the main straight again. Yeah, strategy next week. I'm not looking forward to run safe. Right, it's going to be absolutely nuts. I'm not doing comms next week. Screw that. Now then, so Bieber still has the lead of this race. We all think he may be in at the end of this lap. He's still got the fuel. Will he try and go 1 more? It is not going to be wonderful. It'll be an absolute shit show. I'll probably open up a lobby a bit later on, just so we can all get our eye in around there and try and work out where the hell we're going to let people pass if we're being blue flagged and all that kind of stuff. But I also just want to see how bad it's going to be. I've done a couple of laps last night just to get the lap count stunts, but other than that, I was not feeding it last night. And then now Fever probably will be in this lap. Is he going to come in? He is now just redlining. He is coming in. In Fever comes for his final pit stop. We're coming in for the hard tyre now then. Where will he emerge? I think he may be the last car to do his final pit stop. He is. So once this pit stop's done, everybody will be on a level playing field. So Tom will more than likely inherit the race lead here. Fever's probably only going to have to put half a tank of fuel in, maybe just a tad more. But yeah, Tom is definitely going to inherit the race lead. Biggles will inherit P2 and Panda P3. I'll tell you what, Team Germany, we're in for a good shout here, because a good race result here, because we've got 3 of our cars in the top 4 as it stands, and that is an incredible result. But saying that, Biggles is obviously on a completely different strategy. He does need to save fuel and his tyres. So he will probably end up dropping back a few positions. But we'll see how that pans out. Fever out in P6. Does have Graham closing in, but I don't think Graham's going to have the closing speed to make a dart into turn 4. He's not. But it is his teammate, so he's not going to fight him too hard, I don't think. Fever is on the hard tyre. Graham is on the medium. Fever's letting him go. Nice teamwork there. Sean is currently in P13. I wasn't sure about what Sean's strategy was, but whatever it was, I don't think it's quite clear. It's not really panned out the way he wanted it to. Ross just almost going for a move into the double right-hander there. Backed out a bit at the last moment. Plus he slammed the door in his face. And then look at this, he's got the closing speed, but that's impossible putting that car just where it needs to be to put Ross off. And then Sean right on his rear bumper. Look how close these 3 cars are. Oh, good save there again from Ross, and Sean goes up the outside of him. But doesn't make the move stick, but now he's going to have to run on him all the way up the main straight. And Sean looks like he's going to try and make a move here. Where's he going to go? Oh, he's bumping him along. He knows that they can both get Dusty Fossil here if they work a bit. They kind of work together for a lap or 2. Yeah, Sean has not made that move. Adam hasn't made a move into turn 1. They probably think they can get P11 here. Blue flag's only a few seconds up the road, so maybe they can catch up with him as well if they work together, but you can't really work together into the second sector. But Ross is looking at making a move around the outside of Dusty Fossil here. Can't make it stick, and he also loses out to SBY. So out front, Pando's gone through into P2, Biggles is now into P3, Aaron's just a few seconds behind him in P4, and then behind him he's got 7 seconds to Andy who's in P5, and this will be a very good top 5 result for Andy if he can get that. Tom looks like he may have this one sewn up, barring any major incidents. And then if the Germany boys do get a top, 3 in the top 4, that's an incredibly good week. Graham is in P7 and he's closing in on Andy. Don't know if he's going to be close enough for a move. Not quite, I don't think. He may be able to line up a move into turn 4. Very, very close to 2 of them now. Just needs to get this line right, and he may have a move into turn 4 on the cards. I don't think that gap's closing enough for him to have a look in. Not. That's closing a lot, but not quite enough. And he's on the hard tyres now, don't forget to. the tyre difference you'd think would be enough for Graham to be able to get his way past and into that top 5. Man, the thing that the Team Germany do have going for them here is the fact that Biggles has a bit of a gap to Aaron, and Aaron has a nice gap to Andy, who is on the hard tyre, and Aaron, if they are caught, could play rear gunner, so he can defend and help Biggles maintain that top 3 if need be. Blue flag into the top 10. Sean does the fossil. It's not quite worked out for Joker, unfortunately. He was, I feel like he was going well earlier on in this race, but somewhere along the line, I don't think the strategy's quite worked. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Joker. It's like I said earlier on, though, it's such a big jump trying to go from GT2 to GT1 and maintain the pace that GT1 has. It's incredibly quick. Got it. Make a move here on Fever. Looks to the outside. Yep, he's made that move stick. It's just whether now can Fever put him under enough pressure through this middle sector, where we know that the Lambo is strong and the Viper is not. He may either make a mistake or even just make a move for position. If you're brave enough, you can make a lunge into this turn here, but that bike is quite close enough. Oh, Garni is absolutely levering that throttle on that Viper. But yeah, I think that's I don't think Fever's going to be able to make a move now into turn 1, because that Viper's just going to be way too quick on those medium tyres, and with that engine it's got, Fever's obviously on the harder tyres and does not have that engine, that Viper's engine. We go into the last 4 laps of the race now. With Biggles still sitting nicely in P3. Aaron sitting with a nice 8 seconds gap to Graham behind. These two are, barring any big mishaps, could be secured at the top 4, and with Panda being in there, that's a big result. Tom, again, like I said, without any big issues, then Tom could be, he's got both wins tonight. Still a nice battle going on here between Tom Duval and Lusky Fossil, P12. Ross is just behind them, ready to pick up any loose ends, but he does have a half-second penalty, so that will hinder this lap for him. Sean closing in on blue flag. Aaron has moved up to P3. And then 3 laps, just over 3 laps to go, 7 seconds to Graham. And Biggles hang on to this top 4. Graham does have the pace to catch him, but they need to be very consistent and flawless laps. If Andy starts putting him under pressure, that could hinder his chance of a top 4. 1 second guys, I'm just going to have another drink. So that's lap 34 of 36. We're going closing in Landy here as well. And he is, like I said, he is on those hard tyres. He's doing well to keep up with Graham, is Andy, but he's now got to start thinking about his rearview mirrors with Pagani approaching fairly quickly. I don't think my prediction of Pagani getting a podium is quite going to come off, but I feel like Andy's had a very good race regardless. Blue flag hasn't quite worked out for him. The Cole SBY, and yeah, it hasn't really worked out for them either this race, but like, oh, excuse me. Like we said earlier on in this race with Derek, it's if you can get clean air and get that under your belt and make or even better, make moves cleanly and without being held up too much, you're in a very you can be in a very good position by the end of the race. If you get held up in traffic or you make mistakes, get penalties, things like that, it really does hinder you. That gap to Andy is going to start coming down now because of this long straight. And it'll probably be under a second by the time we get to the main to corner 1. Or maybe not quite that much actually. Certainly by corner 4 if Pagani can get turns 1, 2 and 3 right. Yeah, look at that. Oh, Graham's gone for the move. Oh, sorry, Andy's gone for the move. And Andy was behind him, and now Andy could be. This is what Biggles needs, though. Look at that gap. That gap was between Biggles and Graham was. Oh, Pagani's now in the lead. Look at that. 2 for 1 down 1 straight. Unbelievable. Oh, and it just, I don't know if he just lost a little bit of traction there and gave Graham the slightest little nudges onto the AstroTurf. Graham managed to gather it up nice and quickly, but could have been a lot worse. Pagani up to top 5, and now he will set off after Biggles. Just over a lap to go. I don't know if he's got the pace to get 7 seconds on Biggles in that time, but I think if maybe there was an extra lap or 2 potentially, but I don't think Pagani's got the pace to do 7.5 seconds to even a car that's saving fuel. So as Tom comes around to start his final lap of the race, it's been an absolutely flawless night from Tom, is it? Pole position, led every lap of the first race, and has clearly dominated this race in terms of he's obviously made his way through the pack, just set the lap times he's needed to set, and yeah, the strategy's worked perfectly for him as well. So then you've got Will, Aaron and Biggles for a Germany 1, 2, 3, 4. Pagani is closing that gap, just obviously nowhere near quick enough, and he does have Andy fighting him. The pull power of that Viper is just too much. Graham P7. I feel like Graham might be disappointed with that, but it's been a decent drive from him. Bieber, he'll be, I think, after what looked to be a very difficult race 1 for him, he'll be pleased with a P8 in the endurance. Obviously, if he sees it through and if he does finish there. These 3 here are still quite tightly packed together, so anything could happen. But let's go on board with our race leader, soon to be race winner. He's kind of very final feel, but he will be okay. And Tom comes home to get the pole position win in the sprint and now a win in the endurance for week 5. Will comes home for a brilliant P2 in the Audi, Aaron P3 in the Audi, and Biggles will see off Pagani for P4. What a brilliant result that is for Team Germany. Brilliant, that's a really good strategy call there from Biggles. The only one to do the 1 stop. Pagani comes P5, Andy P6, Graham P7, Lee in P8, Blue Flag P9, SBY was for P10, Tom Duval, then FIBA just sees off Dusty Fossil. Joker will come home P14. Not a good night for Ross. He's been very quick this season as Ross, but for whatever reason this has just not worked out for him. And he takes a scenic route home. What was that front right? Where is it? Yeah, a lot of the front rights have very seen better days. So Tom wins the night, but Team Germany win the Constructors' night, I think, because that was a brilliant performance from them. As we said, next week, let's have a quick rundown of the results. Tom Panda and Aaron are on the podium with Biggles, Pagani, Andy, Graham, Lee, Blue Flag and SPY over the top 10, and then Tom Duval, Fiba, Dusty Fossil, Joker, and Ross round up the rest of the grid. Guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Next week we have the monstrosity that is the Alsace test circuit. GT2 on the Thursday, GT1 on the Friday. It is going to be an absolute shit show, so please do tune in for all that entertainment. I appreciate you guys in the chat for keeping me company and helping me along with the strategies. And yeah, I will catch you either in the lobby or on track next time. So thank you very much. Bye bye.